Barcelona with a convincing win. For more on this, Alex Kirkland joins us. Alex, what's been the big takeaway from this game in Spain?
Yeah, it was fun. The fans there certainly got value for money with those 10 goals, as you say. It felt like a proper pre-season game. And the big headline, you mentioned it, Lamine Yamal. It was all about him going forward, scored the 2 goals, played the key role in that goal for Lewandowski to open the scoring as well. He was the star for Barcelona. He is the star for Barcelona. Now it's going to be interesting how he handles that as the season goes on, because the expectation with him going into the season has gone up to another level, I think. You guys mentioned at the other end, not quite so convincing from Barca. Some really terrible defending at times, which is why they conceded three goals. But I'm sure Hansi Flick will be confident about sort of tweaking that and getting that right as we get close to the start of the season. But yeah, no question, the star was Lamine Yamal, scoring 2 pretty much textbook Lamine Yamal goals. And like I say, being the main man in attack.
It's impossible for it not to be about him, really, at the moment. And me, for one, loves it.
Okay.
But it's what you want. You want a youngster who's shining, who plays entertaining football. And as a football fan, whether you like Barcelona or not, it's exactly what you want in sport, isn't it?
Before we make it about Lamine Yamal, can we make it about Alex for a second? I don't know if I haven't been with Alex in the show as of late, but is the stash the new thing? Is that what he's going with?
It's a summer thing.
Oh, okay, all right.
Kind of like Lewandowski. What do you mean?
Yeah. It's pre-season, right? It's time for experimentation in pre-season.
Yeah,
You're allowed to
exactly.
experiment.
Right.
Then the
If it
season
works or
starts
not.
and we get serious.
Yeah,
Okay,
indeed.
right.
Okay.
Lamine Yamal. The reason you get excited and should be excited about Lamine Yamal is that, yes, not only is he a youngster that seems to be so incredibly talented, that has done so many things already in his young career, that feels like he's only going to get better. But I think what's more encouraging than anything else is that he is not afraid of the moment. He's not afraid to be the guy. He's not afraid to give me that jersey. I'll carry on that responsibility. I'll be the number 10. I'll be Barcelona's it player, best player. And while he doesn't have to come out and say that, you just see it by attitude. You just see it by behavior that, look, I don't rate myself or limit myself because of my age. I think I am the best player on the field with the ball on my feet. Give it to me. I'll find an answer. I'll figure out what we do next. It doesn't have to be with arrogance. It doesn't have to be with look at me sort of attitude. It's far more about his productivity, the way he reads the game, the way he carries himself. Lamine Yamal is everything that you would want in a young player, not only talent-wise, but I think the attitude of Lamine Yamal is something that I can get behind, because it feels like he is checking every single box that's necessary to be successful.
It's what you want, Shay.
It is. And to Ali's point, while we are talking about probably one of the best players on the planet, given his age, you think he's only going to get better. And that in itself is exciting. And then it might be an overworked cliche, but you see it time and time again. Lamine Yamal continues to play this game like he's on the playground. And even though, okay, again, he's 18, we are talking about a player who maybe with now a couple of full seasons under his belt, maybe maturing, there's still just that fun element about his game that I think everybody thoroughly enjoys.
What about those people who go, oh, look at those stats. Doesn't even score every other game. Doesn't even have a goal contribution.
Well, those people don't know what they're talking about, because they don't know how, or they don't recognize how much he impacts Barcelona. And the best evidence of that is last season, where Barcelona were flying with Lamine Yamal, he got injured, and then Barcelona began to struggle and struggle dramatically, certainly in the attacking half. During that time, Barcelona were unable to score goals at the same rate that they were when Lamine Yamal was on the field. And it's not a coincidence. To the point that you were just making there, Shaq, I look at Lamine Yamal, not only is he having fun, but he doesn't seem to be affected by the pressures of the game. He doesn't seem to be jaded by the game yet. The game hasn't taken away from him yet. The political part of the game hasn't taken away from him yet. The navigating the realities of a club or the realities of a contract saga has not affected him yet. And so everything seems like a wonderful, new, beautiful experience, and he is taking full advantage of what's in front of him. As his career goes by, and things get a little bit more political, and things get a little bit more tense with contract negotiation, and people pull in all sorts of different directions, and the people around him sort of start getting in his ear about certain things. Go this way, go that way. You're more important than this player. You're more important than that player. Things tend to get a little bit more complicated. And as he matures, grows up, life gets complicated. It's just the way that things work out. But as of right now, for him, it's very simple about, I show up on the training field, I do my very best, and I enjoy it. I show up on the playing field, I do my very best, and I do what my team needs me to do, and I enjoy it and have a smile while I'm doing it. What could be better than that?
You take a look at this front four, obviously. Is this where we're going to be come the start of the season away against Mallorca, given that everybody's fit? You'll have Lewandowski, you'll have Rafinha, Dani Olmo and Lamine Yamal, Alex?
Yeah, it looks pretty close to it. It felt like Hansi Flick started this game with not far off his strongest team and then made those wholesale changes in the second half. They've brought in the likes of Rashford, of course, to give them a bit more flexibility because last season they had to pretty much play consistently with Yamal on one side and Rafinha on the other. Dani almost up with injuries as well. But yeah, I think right now this is Hansi Flick's front four. They've got options, of course, the likes of Firmin who can come in, like I say, Rashford who can come in, Gavi who had a nice cameo in this game as well, who might want to play a bit more this season than he did last season. But yeah, I think for now this is still Hansi Flick's preferred front four.
Alex, looking at the bookies and how they have La Liga set up, it's interesting that Real Madrid are favourites ahead of Barcelona. Do you see why?
Not really, to be honest. I mean, I know there's a lot of excitement about Xabi Alonso coming in and how much he can improve this team. There's a feeling that, like last year, they underperformed. There's a lot of talent there, a lot of good players, and they can be a whole lot better as a unit, as a collective, and that's what Xabi Alonso can do. And at the Club World Cup, we got so excited about some things, some good performances. Ultimately, of course, a really poor performance saw them knocked out in the semis against PSG. To put the favourites ahead of Barcelona, I'm not quite sure what the logic would be for that because Barca, reigning champions, were the best team in Spain last season by miles. And even if Xabi Alonso comes in and improves the team and makes a real impact, there's a lot of ground to make up there. And there's still one or two, I think, big question marks about this Real Madrid team, about exactly what shape Xabi Alonso's are going to use, about what, some of the key positions. I'm not quite sure what his preferred setup's going to be in midfield there without Jude Bellingham to start the season as well with that after his recovery from that shoulder operation. So a lot of questions still about Real Madrid. So I think it's difficult to sort of put together an argument to make them favourites ahead of Barcelona for me.
I think everyone agree, though, Atletico Madrid rightly third favourites, and a couple of their former teammates, Saul in particular, has said something, get ready for this, interesting.
Hey!
He's talking about Joao Felix, and he says, football is a team sport. He has all the qualities to be an incredible player, but as good as you are, if you don't work, it's not enough. I heard former Rayo coach Paco Gémez say that talent without effort isn't anything. A lot of us try to help Joao, but if you don't want it, he then continues, there is no second page. But if you don't want it, then he walked off.
Yeah.
And that was it in a dramatic pause. This is something which can't really surprise people who follow Joao Felix in his career, Alex.
Yes, Saul isn't exactly revealing any trade secrets, is he here? He's saying that anyone who's watched Joao Felix in the last decade could tell you this. A player with all the talent in the world, one of the most gifted players that we've seen, but has consistently failed to apply that talent to the benefit of the team over consistent periods of time. There were times at Atleti when he was very, very good. There was sort of half a season with one of the best players in Spain, but never did it over the course of an entire season, never did it year after year. And that's why he's had the career that he's had, just moving to Al Nassr in Saudi Arabia, of course, after spells at Milan, spells at Chelsea, at Barcelona, at Atletico Madrid. And I think Saul is just talking here and saying what a lot of Joao Felix's teammates would say if they were asked, or if they had the freedom to say what they'd like to say, which is, I think, frustration, really, because a lot of these players, especially the ones that see it at close hand, they know how good he is. They see him on the training ground. They see him in a way that a lot of us don't. So they know just how good he is, or just how good he could be if he had the right mentality, if he put in enough effort, if he was willing to sort of sacrifice himself for the benefit of the team. So I think a lot of former teammates of Joao Felix would say the same thing. Like I say, frustration that a player with all of that talent hasn't ever quite been able to put it together.
Xhaka, obviously, you didn't have the same sort of talent that Joao Felix had, hence you're a goalkeeper. Looking at this, how frustrating is this as a former professional to see someone basically throw it all away?
It has to be. That is the most frustrating thing from any professional, because the one thing you get from every single pro is a certain amount of work effort. That you show up, you give it your best, and you get the best out of those talents. And now, when it comes to talented players, most of the time there is very little between good players and slightly better. And it just comes down to what's happening in the training ground. So for Joao Felix to be as naturally talented as he is, to not have the career that kind of reflects that talent has to feel desperately disappointing to not just his teammates, but everybody else who wishes they could be blessed with that talent. Now, him leaving Benfica and going to Atletico Madrid just didn't feel like a good fit to start with. So had we been talking only about frustrations at Atletico Madrid, I would kind of side with Joao Felix. But after that, he has had all sorts of opportunities, and with the same outcome every single time, which suggests that it doesn't matter whether it's a workman-like team like Atletico Madrid, where you expect to do a lot of running, or one that his talent should shine through, whether it's Chelsea or Barcelona. But it just hasn't worked for whatever reason. And the only summation could come from that is that Joao Felix just hasn't done the necessary work on the training ground, and that will always catch you out.
What's interesting, Ali, like Sal was saying, as players, we tried to help him, we tried to tell him, but clearly he's beyond that.
And so this is where I sympathize with Saul, because I can picture myself being on the training facility in a training session with Joao Felix, and I'll just take you behind the scenes. Something that you do in training all the time, small-sided games, 5v5, 6v6, where it's in really tight spaces and they get really competitive, really physical. Those are the games that if I were still a player, those are the things that I would want to do, playing these small-sided games. If you're Saul and you are Atletico Madrid and they're setting up the teams for those small-sided games, you don't want Joao Felix on your team. You don't want him. Mm-hmm. As talented as he may be, you don't want that guy playing with you on your team, because you know you're now playing 6v5. You're playing a man down. So talented as he may be, but he's not chasing anybody. He's not working for the team. He's not working for us. He's not doing what the game requires. And if that happens in a small-sided training session drill, it also happens in a big-sided 11v11 whenever we go to play the match on the weekend. And for Saul to be able to say this and to come out and say this, because he must have seen it multiple times, time and time again, and to the point to where he's saying that we try to help him, I have to imagine that the veteran players would have begun their approach to Joao Felix with a positive mindset, if you will, positive feedback, trying to get him to do the work. And so you start on Monday with a small-sided, and he's not running. And you're trying to get him to run. Vamos, Joao. Si tú sí puedes. Vamos, Joao. Ven acá. Ve para allá. Come on, Joao. Right?
That means yes, you can. Come on.
Oh, thanks, Dan.
That's right.
I thought you had a handle for it.
I am.
I just started interjecting.
Okay,
just to help.
Thank you. By Friday, you're playing the same 5v5 game, and this guy is not running. That positive feedback is gone.
It's rude words.
Well, of course. And you know what the reaction is usually of players of the talent of Joao Felix that don't like to work is, instead of engaging, instead of actually getting to work, they shut down. And I can see it. I can see Joao Felix rolling up his shorts, pulling down his socks, and just kind of walking around. And when you see that as a teammate, there's no saving this guy. And now I'm not going to waste my time on this. This is no longer important to me, because this guy, I cannot trust that he's going to help us win matches on the weekend when it matters. When you lose the trust of your teammates, regardless of what the manager may think, when you lose the trust of your teammates, there's no coming back from that.
As Shaka said, Simeone and Joao Felix was a mix that you never thought would come off. Simeone, of course, has worked wonders at Atletico Madrid, and Alex will tell us, look, it doesn't matter. He's got so much money in the bank when it comes to Atleti fans. It doesn't matter what you spend, doesn't matter what he does, he is still their number one choice to be the coach. Saul has taken a slightly different angle on this, saying Atleti have fewer excuses all the time. Last year they spent 200 million euros. This year they spent another 200 million. They don't have the excuse now that Saul earns a lot. They're spending as much as anyone, and they have to compete for everything. But They're kind of given a pass, aren't they, Alex? Well, Simeone certainly is.
I don't know. I think we talk about it during the season. We talked about it often last season. I think we do expect a lot of them, and sometimes they're not doing enough. You know, they tend to challenge for the title until a certain point, and then it drops away. They have spent big. You know, they spent big last summer with Julian Alvarez and Alexander Soroth and the others, and they've done it this year with Johnny Cardoso and Alex Baena. And 3 or 4 others already, and still some more work to be done, I think. So they have invested heavily in the squad over the last couple of years. They can do that. Not every season, but often, because they qualify for the Champions League every single season. They have that regular money coming in from Champions League qualification, which allows them to spend pretty big. I still think it's unrealistic and a little unfair to expect them to go toe-to-toe, head-to-head with Real Madrid or Barcelona, because they aren't quite at that level. They just aren't. But without question, what they should do is at least compete until the latter stages of the season to maintain a challenge towards the end. We can't expect them to win it. I think we can expect them to compete until the end of the season. And that's where they've been a bit of a letdown at times in the last year or two, because I'll say that challenge has tended to fade away, just as it did last year.
Just reminding you to see every single Atletico Madrid game live on ESPN, plus 380 games in total for the start of the new league season. The defending champions, Barca away against Mallorca. Meanwhile, Real Madrid kick off their campaign on Tuesday against Osasuna. Then United 4, Bournemouth 1 is how it finishes. Here's Ruben Amorim.
I think they are playing better also because they are connecting better with each other, not just on the pitch, but off the pitch. I think they are stronger, they are faster in this moment. Of course, it's a pre-season, but you can see the intensity is completely different. I can see the data from the minutes are completely different. So we are improving. But again, it's a pre-season game. The pressure is going to be so much different during the season, but it's important for them to understand that they can play, the same players can play a different game. And I think today was a good day.
Rob Dawson. Rob, a positive segment about Manchester United. Let's go.
Hey.
Well, I mean, it was impressive, right? I mean, you can only beat the teams in front of you, albeit it's a pre-season game against Bournemouth, who didn't play particularly well. But there is reason to be optimistic for United fans who watched that game. That the connection between the players looked better, the gaps between the players as they pressed looked better, they defended better, they created chances, they took the chances that they did create. You know, obviously no one's going to get carried away, and you can hear there Ruben Amorim sort of say that the pressure will be far more when the actual Premier League season starts, and he's 100% correct. But in terms of what United have done in the States, I think there's reason to be cheerful for Man United fans.
Looking at that starting 11 that played against Bournemouth, how many of them are guaranteed a starting place in the opening day of the season, Rob?
I don't think that there are that many, to be honest. That there are still a lot of places up for grabs in that team. I mean, you would expect Wine and Buemo to start if he's fit to play against Arsenal on the first day of the season. Mateus Cunha was absent last night. He's got a bit of fatigue. You would obviously expect him to start. I think obviously Man United would like a new centre forward to be starting that game. There's a possibility that maybe they get Benjamin Sesko and he plays against Arsenal. So, you know, there are places up for grabs in that team to start against Arsenal on the first day of the season. I think right now, really, Ruben Amorim is just trying to get more out of the entire squad. They underperformed massively last season. I don't think there's any doubt about that. He's just trying to raise the level of the entire group. And he said consistently that if you're good enough to play, if you do enough in training, that you will be picked. And I think that last season was so disastrous that no one can be convinced of their place in that team right now.
It's interesting, when you looked at Sesko last season, Ali, of course, and the Bundesliga coverage, did you go to Kay go, I tell you what, we're going to be talking about this guy a lot during the summer because he's going to be in demand?
Well, then I would have turned to Kay and say, it's going to be a long summer.
And you would be right.
Benjamin Sesko is a good player, not a great player. Has the potential to become one, can dribble to some degree, can create for himself. He will score great goals. He has that in his game, but he doesn't have consistent productivity. While you may pay attention to the great goals, you will have to ignore the 3-4 games that he goes without scoring those great goals.
Rob, it's interesting when we've talked about possible United strikers. Of course, Victor Osimhen has been in that conversation. He won't be anymore because he's signed now officially to Galatasaray, of course, on loan there last season. He is now officially a Galatasaray player. So is it Sesko or bust?
Not quite. I mean, United have kind of made it clear privately that Sesko is their preferred option. There is a problem with RB Leipzig's valuation, that they're valuing Sesko at around sort of 80 or 90 million euros. And while United kind of admire him as a player, they just don't value him that high. And if they are going to push ahead with this deal, that asking price will have to come down. They're also interested in Ollie Watkins. Now, Ollie Watkins is obviously an older player, but he is proven in the Premier League, and we've seen with what United have done in the window so far this summer that they've kind of put a lot of emphasis on that. Mateus Cunha has come from Wolves, and Mbeumo has come from Brentford. Both scored goals in the Premier League last season, so there's an obvious attraction there for Ollie Watkins. They also feel that if Aston Villa were able to negotiate for Ollie Watkins, that the price would be a little bit lower than perhaps the price for Benjamin Sesko. So there are a couple of options. You know, they've tried with Liam Delap. They made an inquiry about Victor Gyökeres before he went to Arsenal. So they've seen other targets move to different clubs. And right now they feel that Benjamin Sesko is the best option still on the market, but it's by no means a done deal quite yet.
Rob, good man, thank you very much, of course, to keep up to date with all the latest transfer news. Be sure to check out Transfer Talk over on the website. There is a special Sesko segment. There we go. There were 2 shots on target in that game. There we are, Shaq. Hence the lack of excitement within those highlights. Oh, what are we going to talk about now?
What, we looking at me for?
Go on.
Listen, it's a pre-season friendly.
Right, okay.
And
we learned that Raya needs to be dropped?
No, we did not learn that at all.
Exposed for the goal?
I will only say that while from a Spurs perspective, it's a great result, kind of given where you finished last season, for Arsenal, it doesn't matter. It's given your expectations, it's a pre-season friendly. This was more about Spurs getting a much-needed confidence boost than anything else, and they got that. Other than that, it was a fiercely competed derby, which had all the hallmarks of a pre-season.
You've done your job.
I'm exhausted now.
That's all right. That
was hard work.
Let's talk about Paulinho, shall we? It's official. He's going to be moving on loan. Apparently, that's what reports are saying. Officially, reports are saying that he's going to move from Bayern Munich to Spurs. Spurs, of course, desperate for someone to take control of that midfield. It's where they were exposed so much last season. You think about Paulinho and you think, oh yeah, he's the one who went to Fulham. Thomas Tuchel threw all his toys out the pram because he wanted him. Yeah. Got him to Bayern, and then he didn't really do much at Bayern.
Yeah, and when you say he didn't do much, he did nothing at Bayern Munich.
Why not?
Well, he wasn't very good.
Oh,
fitting well at Spurs then, eh?
He wasn't very good at Bayern Munich. And mind you, Bayern Munich had a hole in that particular position. Remember that Bayern Munich were sort of figuring out, okay, what do we do with Joshua Kimmich? Are we going to play him as a right back? And if that's the case, then who's going to be the holding midfielder? Well, it has to be Joao Paulinho, because we don't think that Leon Goretzka can be an important player for us going forward. Well, this is what happened. Kimmich did not go to right back, and because Paulinho did not prove to be the answer, Goretzka came back from the dead. He was supposed to leave Bayern Munich, came back from the dead, and actually had an important season for Vincent Kompany and Bayern Munich. All of that was made possible by the fact that Joao Paulinho was not very good.
Is there an argument to say, yeah, but he did get injured, he didn't have time to get games under his belt, to get used to the league, to adapt?
There were some injuries, but even when he had chances to play, then he would come into the match given an opportunity to play from the start. And I remember a match in particular at the Allianz Arena, in which I believe it was against Holstein Kiel, in which Bayern Munich are leading the game. Paulinho is just kind of knocking the ball around, makes a bad challenge. He gets red carded 30 minutes into the match, and Bayern Munich end up losing that game. That's a sort of time that Paulinho had at Bayern Munich, in which even when he had opportunities to play, even when he had recovered from injuries, what he did on the field was not all that impressive. So it is not a surprise that Bayern Munich are saying, yeah, we need to loan this guy out somewhere because he's not going to have an impact, or hasn't had the impact that we thought he would have at our club.
I don't think that's what Spurs fans were hoping to hear.
Well, you can only look up from here if you're Joao Felix, and maybe going back. Here you go. This is the reverse of what people usually say. Oh, players going into the Premier League can do all that well. In the case of Joao Felix, he went to Bundesliga, struggled. Maybe going back to the Premier League is what he was suited to play, and it suits his style a lot more than he did at Bayern Munich.
A lot more, of course, on these pre-season friendlies over on our YouTube channel. Be sure to go to ESPN FC and subscribe. It's Leagues Cup, of course, time at the moment. Inter Miami taking on Atlas in their opener. Rodrigo de Paul making his debut for Inter here. We'll take it straight into the second half. Messi with a setup to make it 1-0.
Nice little slide of the ball to pick up Messi. Oddly, nobody picks up Lionel Messi's run. And then just handing off to Segovia. Makes harder work if he finishes than he should.
Atlas, though, get themselves back into it with 10 minutes to go. Lozano here.
It's not the best defending. Inter Miami had been dominating this game. Should have been up by more. We're not. Left to late, but what a combination this was.
Yeah, lovely play here. Messi once again with the assist.
And again, nobody tracking the run of Lionel Messi. Nice little exchange of passes with Suarez, and then Vegan with the tap-in.
Messi, loving it.
Hey!
Shouting some opposition players as well.
Take that.
There you go. Speaking after the game, of course, after that suspension, after missing the MLS All-Stars, he said the truth is that it was difficult with the heat and not having played the other day. Even if the rest seems better for me, it's worse because I need to compete. I feel good physically. The more matches I play and get into the rhythm. The other day, they didn't let me compete. And I felt it in the first half. But the important thing is that we won. Exactly what you want to hear, isn't it, from Messi, Ali?
I don't think anybody can question Messi's commitment to playing all the time with Inter Miami. Hence why he was involved in the games in the Club World Cup, and hence as to why it was necessary for him to take off the All-Star game, but apparently that was frowned upon by Major League Soccer. And look, Inter Miami will go as far as Lionel Messi takes them. However, the introduction of Rodrigo de Paul and the acquisition of Rodrigo de Paul not only is it important in the protection of Lionel Messi, it's also important in the protection of Sergio Busquets, which then makes this team a little bit more balanced through the midfield, which then would suggest that then there will be more freedom for Lionel Messi to do a lot more in the attack. He has been really good for Inter Miami and for Major League Soccer, and I believe that he doesn't care what competition, whether it's MLS, Leagues Cup, that, Club World Cup. He just wants to win, and wants to win now. And that is what you want to hear from your star. From the face of the league, all he wants to do is play and win matches. What else do you want?
Of course, you've got two groups, haven't you, in this Leagues Cup?
Good luck.
MLS and Liga MX. Let's take you through some of the highlights and some other games.
I thought you were going to explain the format.
You're going to get there, Ali. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
Don't cool your jets. We'll start, shall we? Who is this? So Pumas against Orlando are playing here. Keylor Navas makes the save.
Another big save from Keylor Navas.
There we go. 4-3 is how it finished. Carrasquilla here. Now that means that Pumas will get 2 points because they won the penalty shootout. Now more on that will be explained a little bit later
Very
on.
clearly.
Right,
Okay, don't worry about that. 11 minutes in, Brad Guzan.
I know, Shaq.
boy.
I know, Shaq.
What's he supposed to do here?
Well, not that. Not that, Shaq. Not that.
That's unlucky. Oh, what header that is?
There you go. That'll make it 2-1 in the end. And it has with a win 3-1 over Atlanta.
How many points they get there?
They get 3 points.
Okay, all right.
Portland, meanwhile, run a mock. David Da Costa would set things up how we would see things going here.
Nicely teed up by the defender. And then the goalkeeper's unsighted. Yes, that's the excuse.
Felipe Mora, with 13 minutes to go, would make it 4-0.
Good finish.
It's in, Shaq. It's
It is. It's a good finish. That's, yeah.
It's in. It's a goal. It's a goal, Shaq.
Very close. Very close.
We might want to see a different angle of that. Meanwhile, Minnesota taking on Querétaro. Yeboah here. The second, Minnesota will go on and win this game by 4-1.
Nice free kick, but that's keeper's side. He's nowhere near.
Is that slight criticism?
A little criticism
To the goalkeeper?
Yeah.
Is that happening right now?
Yes, it just did.
Club America taking on RSL. 16 minutes in.
Oh, man, I can handle those, Shaq.
No, you made a career on those.
Diego Luna.
Shaq. And it would have been the same way, too. Missing the first attempt. This is a first miss. And then I'll go the follow-up.
It looked like RSL were going to get the win. They missed some big opportunities, but then Club America makes it 2-2. And what does that mean in this competition, Shaq?
Penalties and 2 points up for grabs.
Exactly, very good.
All right.
Yes, indeed. Cabral there with the save, another save here.
So do you get 1 point if you lose the penalty shootout?
Yes.
That was the most unconvincing yes I've heard in a while, Dan.
No,
He thought about it.
well, let's take a look at the full screen, shall we? Which explains this League Cup format.
all right.
So 18 MLS teams. Last season's top 9 from each conference to match the 18 Liga MX sides. Now, the team are divided into 2 groups, and each team plays 3 games.
Okay.
3 games, which I think is quite key to this.
Yeah.
There are just 3 matches, then 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, and an additional point, as we said, for a penalty shootout win. Now, the top 4 teams from each league advance then to the quarterfinals, and then it's MLS against Liga MX in a knockout format.
Okay.
I look at this and I can't see any problems with it whatsoever, Ali.
Oh, boy.
Well, first you got to understand what in the world is going on here.
Would you just...
What? Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My thoughts exactly.
Exactly.
If you're
You're
playing
right.
with 3 rubbish sides, then of course you're going to get the win and be top of the table.
Well, that's it. This randomized whatever is it, and they try to explain it. I actually went into the MLS website and read it, and it's depending on rankings and ratings for teams, and where are those numbers coming from? Who knows? You just get to play these 3 teams, and if you accumulate enough points to be in the top 4, somehow you're now into the quarterfinals.
You have to win all 3, basically, and that seems to be the logic.
It would seem to be the case because we are talking about 18 teams in your league. And so how do you separate? What are the tiebreakers? How do you separate in 3 matches? How do you separate 18 teams so that you get into a top 4? And by the way, you're not playing those 18 teams. You're playing. That's not your opposition. No. It's the other league.
Yes.
It seems like it's all made up. It seems it's all like, tell you what we need to do. We have to somehow involve all 18 teams from Liga MX. And so, what else do we need to do? Somehow we then make 18 teams randomly here from MLS. And, by the way, mind you, problem. You're not playing MLS teams if you're MLS. You're playing the Liga MX team. So it feels as if MLS is saying, well, at least we're going to secure 4 MLS teams in the quarterfinals. We're going to make sure that at least 4 teams are going to be in the quarterfinals. And whatever happens after that, probably those are going to be our best representative and our best chance to actually make it into the semifinals and potentially win this competition, as the Columbus Crew did last season. I have no idea how this format works and how the numbers work. Somebody, I'm sure, has some mathematical equation. I think your algorithm for the power rankings are easier to understand than whatever this is.
Do you like this, Shaq?
No.
Okay.
You want me to go into more detail?
If you'd like to.
No, I don't really want to. But
Okay, well then don't bother.
right.
There we are. I tell you
Shaq.
who will be going into more detail. Ali Moreno.
Nobody admits that they're wrong more than me.
There's a graphic for that.
It's a kike, yeah? Well, it's a critique. Oh, crikey, O'Reilly.
Ekitike.
Ekitike değil.
Ekitike.
Ekitike wasn't done.
And what's the over-under and how many times you're going to...
Ekitike, it's fine. I just
How
need to
many times
get...
you're
No,
gonna
it's
be
fine.
like-
I can get... It's just a little bit of practice.
season.
No, it's not a Tronoglu, is it?
You all know I have a thing with ponytails. On men. Just add that in quickly.
Okay. Thank you, Shaq.
No problem.
You all, of course, came to America to end your careers.
Y'all. I would bet money with you that Ekitike scores more goals than Joao Pedro.
Whoa. Yeah.
$50.
Sure.
Come on, then.
Well,
Did you say
There you go.
50?
yeah.
For you?
Yeah.
Wow.
If they play the same amount again.
Well, no, you can't throw that.
Oh, well, that's exactly what I said.
My biceps are so wide. Look at that inside. It's ugly.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah, really.
This is an AI or somebody's just being mentioned.
This is an AI.
There's so many things these days.
I don't know
Like,
why
yeah,
that was so funny.
Frank, what have you done to your finger?
I tried to cut my baguette yesterday, and I forgot that I had the finger in the middle.
Ali, did you ever have a little chat to a fan?
No, I barely talk to my family, Dan. I barely talk to my family, Dan.
When I worked for Real Madrid, Beckham was there. They're like, oh, what's Beckham like? And I purposely go, oh, David, he's such a nice guy. Oh, for some reason, I thought the ladies might like it.
Yeah, all right.
They didn't.
Could take that from Ronaldo's hair and put it on the front of my head, and would be great. See, it's a
Like
missing
yucking it
piece.
to
It's
Arsenal.
yeah, it's yes. It's yuckiness.
Somebody tattooed my name on his butt. So
Well, there you go.
His modus operandi is
Wow.
Modus operandi.
Take a moment, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy that.
okay. How do they sell Brian and Buemo in a project? What's the project? What's the project?
Go home. That's it. I'll see you later.
Come back.
The boys are obsessed as to why you're so red right now, Gab.
You know what? I would love to tell you that it's because I've been out on my boat or I've been on the golf course, although I don't golf.
PSG looked as if they were short. And there you go.
Craig's patience has run out. The lights have gone out.
You're like the Man United of YouTube shows.
Oh, excuse me.
Welcome into the latest edition of Extra Time. Thank you very much for your messages. Ali and Shaka are here. We saw Tottenham beat Arsenal, didn't we? 1-0 earlier today. Do you still consider matches between club rivals as a derby if it's held outside of the country where the league is located and it's a pre-season match?
No.
No. I don't think so.
Pre-season match?
Yep. Ali, would you like to add anything to this?
That's the key. Pre-season match. That's the difference. Because
underline
otherwise,
that
you can make the case for the Spanish Super Cup in Saudi Arabia or whatever is it that they play it in.
Right.
And
oh no, that was real. Spanish Super Cup is real.
I know, but that's what you obviously did not listen to me. That I said the key was pre-season match.
Right.
But otherwise, if you play the Spanish Super Cup, as they do in Saudi Arabia, and it's still El Clásico when Barcelona and Real Madrid play each other.
I see.
I was going to get there in the end. I'm just saying.
Right.
Just.
It's quite a long.
Jumping the gun, you.
Right. Focus on this. It's quite long, Ali.
Oh boy.
Start, bench, or drop. Sell the following 4 players by ranking who of them is going to end their respective careers with the most to least Championship League, winners' medals. Lamine Yamal at Barca.
Champions League.
Yes, Champions League. Real Madrid at Mbappe at Real Madrid. Florian Wirtz at Liverpool. Erling Haaland at Manchester City. So he already has a head start. He has 1. The rest, of course, yet to get 1.
And this is to me, Dan?
This is to you, but I will open it up to Shaka as well.
Okay.
You don't have to.
No, I'd like to.
Okay.
Right. I'm going to say Lamine Yamal at Barcelona. The youngest group to work with, the youngest player, so we'll have multiple opportunities, and we assume that he'll be in Barcelona for the length of his career.
Okay.
So I'm working on pure mathematics here. I'm going to go Lamine Yamal at Barcelona.
And you know where I'm going next then?
What's that?
2nd, 3rd, 4th.
Oh, all right, okay. Well, Haaland already has 1 at Manchester City. I'm gonna go Haaland, and then Mbappe and Wirtz have the same. We'll have the same.
Which will be?
1.
They'll have 1 apiece.
Yes.
I'm going to go Yamal, Mbappe, Haaland, Wirtz.
Why Mbappe 2nd?
Just because it's Real Madrid and the Champions League just have a thing.
but Barcelona have more of a thing.
Lamine Yamal is younger and has more runway
Right.
for that thing.
Okay.
Yeah, all I would say is that Barcelona would be in the way of.
Yep.
If we're picking Lamine Yamal, that's why I had Mbappe a little bit lower, because that would mean that Barcelona is getting on the way of Real Madrid achieving some of these things. So,
Good question. How do players from both teams involved in transfer sagas, Isak to Liverpool, sorry Shaka, react or discuss seeing headlines and rumours, good, bad, ludicrous? Did you talk about it at all, Shaq?
Not really. No.
What did you talk about?
Science stuff.
Science.
Science.
Yeah. What sort of science stuff?
Absolutely.
Big market stuff?
No, not at all big market stuff. Nobody discusses that. I don't know what you're talking about. No idea what you're talking about. Let's stick to the question. Headline speculation are part of the job. And we discuss it, nobody takes it overly seriously.
Right.
If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't,
And unless you're really close with this specific player, where you may have a conversation.
unless it's you.
Huh?
Unless it's about you.
Yeah. Well, yes, or you.
You are quite close.
And you could have a conversation about what what's happening, what's going on. He could very well be your roommate on the road. I don't know. And some of this innuendo is going on, and you see how maybe it affects them or doesn't. But on the whole, it really doesn't affect how the locker room is run on a daily basis.
Ali, have you ever had a new manager appointed whose hire was unpopular with the players?
Yeah, we were in first place with the LA Galaxy when Siggy Schmidt was let go in the middle of the season.
And you had a very close relationship with Siggy Schmidt.
Yes, not as close then as it became later on when once he went back into MLS and was the Columbus Crew, he traded for me to come to the Columbus Crew, and then the relationship was sealed.
Oh.
But I had a very good relationship with Siggy, and he drafted me and what have you, but we were in first place. At that point, we were the best team in Major League Soccer. I was actually away with the national team. We were playing Spain in Spain, and I got a phone call in the middle of the night saying, hey, just want to let you know that that this is going to come out. We're going to let Siggy go, and we're going to pick Steve Sampson, who was the former manager of the U.S. national team. And it wasn't so much about him being unpopular as much as it was, well, we're in first place, why are we letting this guy go? And Siggy had a lot of good relationships with a lot of players in the locker room, so that didn't quite make sense.
The only one I could probably think of the batters is Harry Redknapp at Portsmouth when they brought in, I can't remember his name now.
Oh, was it Pierre, the French guy?
No, well, he came after with some with a Z, that's all I remember.
Okay. That's how important he was to you, Shaq.
Oh, well, I loved Harry.
Alan Perrin? Was that the name of the French
Alan Perrin came in after Z guy.
Okay.
Z guy.
ZZ Top.
This was your manager.
Yeah.
And you remember him as Z guy.
Z guy, yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Z guy.
That's how much I liked him.
Final question, Shaq. What are the most annoying types of players that you've played against?
The most annoying types of players that I've played against. Short players.
So you say Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank was something with it.
Jimmy was naughty though.
In what way?
Jimmy, as the saying was, he would leave a little bit on you.
Okay.
So if he was a little bit late for a challenge, he'd still follow through and intentionally catch you. He would go down rather heavily after the slightest touch you get from somebody else. He was annoying.
He was naughty.
He was naughty. Small players were, so Tony Cottee, I always remember this.
Okay.
Played against Tony Cottee at, he was at Everton, I'm at West Ham. Obviously, Tony was formerly at West Ham. But he comes to mark me for a corner. And he's standing like, what's little Tony Cottee doing here?
Right.
So I'm like, as soon as this ball comes in, I'm just going to push him out of the way. As the corner swung in, I've just swung my left hand, but he's ducked. I go tumbling. It was honestly, it was so embarrassing. It was so funny. I don't think nothing came of it, But I just always remember, I look back on it and just can't stop laughing. So playing it, so because I'm used to the kind of big players up against and those physical challenges.
Yeah.
Those small players are just difficult for me, man.
Did you do anything to try and wind up goalkeepers, Ali, when you played?
Some of that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I
You were too slow to duck.
I would take the hit right in the chest then and would draw a foul from it and would be a penalty. No, but I actually, what's the most annoying types of player that you played against? Well, I feel like that question is talking to me. I was annoying.
Okay.
For many different reasons, but
give us some examples.
Well, I played on the fringes of legality all the time. I was,
boy.
You know, I was physically strong enough to withstand a challenge, but if I didn't want to withstand it and I felt that it was more important for us to relieve some pressure, I will just as easily go down.
So we were talking this week about Rodrigo de Paul, like sort of annoying.
Yes, that. And looking back, a lot of it had to do with the fact that I knew what my game was and I knew what the ceiling was and what the limitations were. But that doesn't mean that I couldn't stretch certain areas of the game to help my team win matches.
Brilliant.
And so, for example, I knew more times than not I was not going to be able to run away from defenders. So even if I timed my run well to get in behind, there was going to be enough time for them to get back in the race. And so it became far more important for me as I'm going towards goal that I'm right in the challenge. And so you have a defender right on your back, and all I'm trying to do is keep my body in between the ball and the defender. The defender, by him running behind me, he's taking me with him.
Oh, I see.
So he's generating momentum for me.
Yeah.
And if he does anything else other than that, I'm going down. And this was the thought process. I can't get away from him, and he's pushing me forwards. All right, I'll take him with for a ride.
Like a slipstream kind of.
And either I go finish the chance, I'll either go finish the chance, or he takes me down, it's a penalty, or it's a foul, it's a red card. We move on with our lives.
Wow.
That's how I stretch.
There we are.
The
fringes of legality is easily the best term I've ever heard in my life.
Well, that's how, and I lived on the fringes of legality. And so Stevie's always annoyed about that and was always annoyed.
He's still angry about it.
As a manager. But you also take advantage of defenders and how anxious they are to go win a ball, and you'll show them the ball, and then I would get my sizable backside on the way, and here comes the foul. And they would complain, and I was, what? Well, you fouled me.
You're not there to make friends.
And I did not make
many.
No.
It's like Football Americas tonight.
Yes. No friends there.
Boy. ESPN FC will return to your screen tomorrow. Craig.
Who's there tomorrow?
Craig, me and Craig.
Hey!